On to our top story this morning. We're about to hear from a woman from Reigate who has gone through every parent's worst nightmare. Pat Harrington's son, Ben, died on the Thai island of Koh Tao in 2012 while on holiday. He was just 32 years old. An inquest in this country found he died as the result of a road traffic collision after a motorcycle crash. But Pat has always questioned the circumstances surrounding Ben's death. Now she set up a petition calling on the UK government to investigate deaths on the island. Pat spoke to me about why she's decided to set up the petition.
Well, Ben was 32 years old. He always had itchy feet, wanted to travel a lot, wanted to go to Thailand. He asked one of his brothers to go with him and a friend. They got on a flight to Bangkok and there they stayed for 6 days. Had a great time, met lots of people, had fun. Then they decided to go overland, which was a 12-hour trip to Koh Tao. They knew somebody that worked in a bar there from football days at QPR, so they went to visit him in the bar. He then got them a villa on the beach, which consequently was the same beach where the two Brits were bludgeoned to death a couple of years ago, Hannah and David. So he also loaned them some mopeds. And then in the evening decided they would go into the town. Mark didn't want to go into the town, which was his brother, so he stayed back at the villa and just Ben and Chris went into town. Ben had forgotten something, so he went back to the villa to get it and tried to persuade Mark to come back out with him, but Mark was still too tired, so Ben went back out and he was never seen alive again. Mark has said that the road from the villa to the town was a very, very dark, bumpy road, not tarmac or anything, so lots of potholes and things in there. There were no lights down there, and the lights on the mopeds were very, very dim. So he said Ben would not have been going any more than 5-10 miles an hour. The injuries that Ben sustained were connected with blunt trauma and ejection. So we had heard stories, be careful, they use tripwire to get you off your bikes and to trip you up so that they can muck you. These are just stories, it's not concrete evidence. And we think possibly this is what could have happened to Ben, because when he was found, he had no belongings left on him at all, no money, nothing. He had been dead about 2 hours before somebody found him. He was still quite warm. The Thai government said that he died of a broken neck and wanted to cremate him the next day, but I wasn't having any of that. I wanted his body back here. We had a proper post-mortem and he died from an ascending aorta, which is what blunt trauma would do to the chest. And the fact that he had no belongings left on him, that is what the lines we are going down, because we've heard lots of other stories of similar so-called accidents, and one of them that I've spoken to actually survived. He had a broken neck, the same scenario. He was mugged, broken neck, but so he managed to get back to this country alive. There are other people that have been out there that I've been speaking to where they said it's an accident in drowning. It wasn't an accident. The post-mortem in this country revealed that he died of a head injury and then was thrown in the swimming pool. And, it's just little things like that that you put together and you think something's going on out there, and the government actually need to investigate all this.
So can you tell us a bit more about your petition?
My petition is basically just to get the government to realise that there is a problem in Thailand. I don't think the problem is on the mainland, it's on the islands. So I just want the government to even just do a website to make awareness of people that are travelling out there, just to be vigilant. I need 10,000 signatures for Theresa May to actually read it, and 100,000 signatures for it to actually go to Parliament.
And how many have you got at the moment?
I've got 3,500 at the moment. It's been going 7 weeks.
When you received that phone call, can you talk us through that?
Yeah, it was at 20 to 4 in the morning. My one fear when they went there were drugs being planted in their bags. So I gave them lots of those, those plastic ties. And I said, if you see those tampered with, then something's happened. So when the phone went, it was Mark calling me. And I thought, oh dear. I said, oh, what's wrong, Mark? And he started crying. He said, I'm so sorry, Mum. I said, oh, Mark, what's happened? What? Has Ben been arrested for drugs or something? Because I thought somebody had planted something. No, he's dead. Oh, I was just in utter shock. I said, what are you talking about? He couldn't even talk. He was just crying. And I put the phone down. I woke my youngest boy up, who just went into himself, wouldn't even talk to anybody for 24 hours. And I didn't know what to do with myself. And I got ready. I'm an emergency nurse. I was, at the time, an emergency nurse manager. And I went into work at 7 o'clock. I didn't know what to do. And I was just in a daze. And I continued to go to work every day until his funeral, which was like 3 weeks later. And even now, I still can't believe it's happened. I still expect him. He used to come and see me every Sunday. I still expect him to walk through the door on Sunday. It's just unreal. You struggle through day by day. I hate the fact when my other children go on holiday. I can't survive the whole time they're gone. Just in case I get another phone call. It's just awful. You have to make yourself get up in the mornings and do things, otherwise you would just, wither away.
And do you feel like this petition is almost the last thing you can do to help Ben?
Yes, yeah.
Obviously, this time of year, there's a lot of students who are deferring from university, looking to go on a gap year.
Yeah.
What would you tell to parents or grandparents of those children who are looking to go to Thailand?
Just to make them be aware of their surroundings, be mindful of what is going on. As I say, don't go out there on your own, which is what a lot of gap year people do. Go with somebody and stay together the whole time. Just make yourself safe.
Well, the Foreign Office told us staff in Thailand and London supported the Harrington family at the time of Ben's death and said they do all they can to help the families of British people who die overseas. The office's website says it can't investigate crimes overseas because it can't interfere in another country's law enforcement or their judicial system. It's 15 minutes past 7.
And that was a recording on the BBC. I shall put a link to the petition underneath the YouTube video. Thank you so much for watching.